Hello everybody and welcome to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Finally getting back on the Ace Attorney games. It's been so long, and I hate to break it to you, but we might have to pause Ace Attorney to play a different game, two different games, because one, Your Turn to Die, when Chapter 3, 2 comes out, and then a Danganronpa fan game that I've been wanting to play. I've played up to what's released, but it's gonna make. They're probably going to announce the release date for the second trial for that pretty soon. Hopefully. I want to play that. But I had a save file, and the save file got fucking corrupted, so I'm just gonna play it for YouTube. Anyways, let's get started. A new game. Turnabout Trump. Not that Trump. Well, it's more like a trump card. It's gone way up since it's a DS game. Shutdown time. Jeez. That yell. Another yell. This is a cool transition. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should have come to that. April 20th, 9:37 a.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 3. I can't look at the court. Oh, there it is. Attorney's badge. Type other. One of my possessions. How long did I yearn for one of these? Just putting it on makes me feel ready. Smith's autopsy report. Take reports. Received during the preliminary hearing. Time of death was around 2 a.m. April 17th. Death occurred by a single blow to the forehead. Oh. Shady Smith, age, male. Estimated time of death, April 17th, between 1:45 and 2:15 a.m. Cause of death, cerebral hemorrhaging resulting from blunt trauma to the forehead. Crime photo 1. Type photographs received during the preliminary hearing. The sub-basement at the Borscht Bowl Club. Touch check button for details. How many of these? Christoph Gavin, age 32, gender male, boss at the Gavin Law Offices. A first-rate defense attorney and my trusted mentor. Age, gender male, my first client. Just standing in front of this guy makes me nervous. Shady Smith, age, gender male. The victim in this case, a traveler, only recently back in the country. Panicked, calm, sweaty. I can admit it. I'm nervous. Oh, good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I get up at 5 a.m. to do my chords of steel voice workout. I'm fine. Ah, that explains it. I detect a certain rasping quality to your screech. I overdid it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gun, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. While you're preparing your case, you might want to introduce yourself to the client. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course. And so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. Whoa. Good morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial. Nervous. Meeting him. Cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So, you're fine. I'm fine. Oh. Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney. And he's your friend. So why? You'll see. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. It's time. Shall we? Yes, sir. Okay. I need to focus. First trial, here comes justice. April 20th, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. The court is now in session. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is fine. Ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice. I miss doing your voice, Your Honor. I missed your voice so much. And this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strange. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always see to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice. But don't entrust this case to this greenhorn. Why? Do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. Does he have cords of steel? Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. A long time no see, Mr. Wright. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne. To think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you'll leave it in chains. Ah, Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see. Okay, they should... Okay. Phoenix Wright, age 33, gender male. pianist at the Borscht Bowl Club, formerly an ace defense attorney of some renown. Winston Payne, age 61. He is old, gender male. Prosecuting attorney. For all his experience, he lacks a certain presence. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him. Wham! On the head. Smack! Killed him cold. A customer at the restaurant, you say? The defendant, you say he was a pianist for the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright, a pianist? This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Deadly bottle added to the court record. Type weapon submitted as evidence by prosecutor Payne. Grape juice bottle used as the murder weapon. Bears the Prince of Mr. Wright. Bears the defendant, Mr. Wright's prince. Something to note, Justice. No evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record. Right. I've heard of that. Use the court record button to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right. The court record button. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. So, the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this, Shady Smith fellow? We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor. A traveler? According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, although his place of residence is unclear. And he had some sort of connection with the defendant. That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime. If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing. That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, it would have had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself. Indeed, it appears that defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal. Objection! It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with a victim, yet it was only that, a game. In the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, the backs, reads, and blue flame know its final outcome. Come again. Cards on the table have blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present, and impress women. So that will be our first order of business here then. Find out more about this fatal game of cards. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held at the night of the crime. My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. I am a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play in the competition and there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is. A game. And our customers are happy. A pianist who can't play piano. Better than a defense attorney who can't defend. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets? Where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy too. Your brain feels strained and raspy, sir. Unfortunately, you've performed cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course in cross-examination? No, I don't have cross-examination. No need for help, sir. I think I've got this one covered. I think you'd better do more than that. More than think. You know it, or you do not. I'm fine. Cords of steel are ready for battle. My weapons, press and present. Find any inconsistencies and lies in the testimony and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Inconsistencies? Lies? Phoenix Wright? As if Phoenix Wright would never lie. It's up to me to prove it. The defense may begin the cross-examination. I gotta remember the controls on the fucking controller I have. The competition. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. Okay, so what is that? You can hardly play? Oh, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song, and that's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is a mask, a respectable face I wear for the world at large. Then why are you really at the Bushed Bow Club? My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional, after all. Do I detect pride in that statement? Just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yes, your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. What? I've played poker for 7 years in that little room. And I've never lost one. I've never lost once. What? You see why the customers come now. Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. Just played poker for 7 years and not lost once? Is that even possible? The room where we play in the competition in... No, the room where we play in the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction. It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for the black market types back in the day. Black market? All in the past, things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. A smoky room, gambling hoods, you know. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it, although it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. The rules are simple. You play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. 2 decks of cards? A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we used two types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other was blue. As I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes. A game of hands. This competition you're talking about, I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. It was a simple game after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that crime occurred. Yet you claim no connection to the crime. Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right. There's something I'd like to make clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. I'd like to hear it from you. Sure. Why not? Very well. The defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press. And I've got myself a whole new testimony. I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon. Silence! The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law. But why? That clearly puts you at a disadvantage. And it's your job to turn that around in our favor, yes? Great. Like I don't have enough to do already. Justice? Didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony? Huh? Wait, something he said did ring a little strangely. Just one thing. Now what was it? When you figure it out, I'd suggest presenting evidence. Evidence that contradicts the testimony. Contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony? Why? You better check the court record. I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony. Isn't it a little early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more information, don't forget to press. Right. I got it. I'm fine. I'm gonna listen to that testimony again. That's all it is. A game. Our customers are happy. So, you claim you weren't gambling. That's right. It was simply a game. You didn't bet any money. Not even a little. The only thing at stake in our game was pride itself. Oh, well put, Mr. Wright. I've got a mind to play a hand of poker myself. The stakes, your fate. Can we get back to the trial now? Okay. Well, Phoenix, why are you lying?
Objection!
So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon? The grape juice bottle? Right. So I said. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see. It was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears and our case. But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove he did it. Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. Huh? But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. Upside down? Like Stranger Things? What does that mean? Just realized Stranger Things would be... So the finale released New Year's Eve. I'm pretty sure this game takes place 2026. This game takes place this year. This game takes place this year. Fuck. Upside down? What does that mean? It means he was holding a bottle inverted. And there can be only one reason for that. Yes. To brain someone with the bottle. Ugh. Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh. I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. Defendant! Can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the matter. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason.
Objection!
Your Honor? Your Honor? You seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported? Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright, but still that... Really? Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? Let's take a look at a diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in the basement 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see. And this is the phone that made the call. Write cell phone out of the court record. Type other, submitted as evidence during the trial. Used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's source code. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he's being uncooperative? I saved Mr. Gavin. I'd better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client. Enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about... What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment the crime occurred. How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're as good as I say you are. So someone else was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. The witness will state her name and profession. Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness? I surmise that she's been frightened by the defendant's demonic-looking horns. So I used a little hair gel. Relax, people. Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off. You are sure? I swear it on my gavel. Please, come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you are sure it is okay. I can't do a very good Russian accent. Now, the prosecution... Wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia? Yes. She is a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of a trade. And that would be... My name is Olga Orly. I am employed as a waitress in Borscht Bowl Club restaurant. Then, why the camera? Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is naming restaurant. But I also perform, how it is said, other service. I take it one of these other services is taking the customer's pictures. Like, for example, this one. That's the defendant. Indeed, on the night of the murder, the man in white hat is the one who has gone kaput. Indeed, that is the victim. Order! This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps. It is the same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers. Casually. Then the court will casually accept this new evidence. Olga's photo out of the court record. Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? Olga's photo tie photographs submitted as evidence by Olga Orly. Defendant and Mr. Smith at the Borscht Bowl Club. Let's check the details. I was in the room. The hideout, we call it. Excuse me? The hideout? It is room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. Is room where murder took place. What? You look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post my courtroom door later for you. Photos will be numbered and you will write which ones you want a copy of. So, there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and... Olga Orly, our witness. If Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about that night's events. That fateful night. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for a game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. The victim, he plays whole time with hand on locket at his neck. Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. That man flew at the victim and is strangling him to death. Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith. Objection! That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. Justice, maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection. But he hadn't lost in 7 years. Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose the case my first 7 years as a prosecutor, either. I mean, that's only because I went up against people. I only took cases where the defense attorney had never taken a case before. Brand new people. I was a bit of an asshole. I'm still an asshole, but you know, who cares? Incidentally, I have some evidence here. These are the poker chips as they lay at the very moment of the crime. The hand and chips on the side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith. Chips, you say? Yes. Imagine that poker is war. The hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils. I know that. After all, in my youth I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3. I think he means poker face. Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Chip photo, record. Type photographs submitted as evidence by Prosecutor Payne. Defendant and victim's chips when crime took place. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. That night, the customer asked me to deal cards for a game. You were dealing cards. Do you do this often? I am doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht cards, more borscht. It is my work. It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service. Welcome you to Borscht Bowl Club, where borscht is as warm as the waitresses. Thank you for not handing out flies during cross-examination. It was cold. Both players played with hats on bar. It's already April. How could it be cold? At Borscht Bowl Club, we have pride on authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside it is city and spring, but inside it is always as cold as Mother Russia. No way am I going there. When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, da? The victim, he plays all time with his hand on locket at his neck. His locket? I believe it was a good luck charm, da? He gripped it many times as he played that night. Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars. Though if it was small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift. Defense would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about. I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket? Of course! I knew that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that. No, a locket's a locket! Doesn't matter what shape it is. It's considered part of form to make fun at the heart of hearing. At the heart of hearing in our society. Heart of hearing or heart of understanding. So, what happened next? Then, last hand is done. But something terrible has happened, Something terrible? Eek! The defense will refrain from needless shouting. Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing. Now, Miss Orley, can you tell us what happened? Oh, I was so frightened. I trembled with fear. That man flew at the victim and is strangling him to death? But the defendant would never do such a thing. Eek! Well now, I can't say I've heard the defense try this tactic. Well now, I can't say I've ever heard the defense try this tactic. If possible, please refrain from embarrassing me. Still, why would anyone do something like this over a game of poker? Perhaps it is because the defendant has lost the game. Yes, a crushing defeat for a man undefeated. So it always is with men like him. Winners make sore losers. Oh, how the mighty fall! Go ahead. I believe you know what it is you need to do. Right, sir. Leave it to me. There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and... if Mr. Wright isn't the killer. I've got you now, Orley. Really? Strangled, you say? That's odd.
Ah, a normal customers only choke on borscht.
No, I mean this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head.
Eck!
Miss Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime?
Eek!
Looking at this picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything.
Yet, it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation.
Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? His head certainly was hit.
I'm putting 2 out of the court record. Type photographs submitted as evidence by Prosecutor Payne. Photo of forehead. Hat removed during investigation. But, I have seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at the victim, his neck.
Oh, really, Miss Orley? I think I caught you in your own lie this time.
Justice? I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more.
What do you mean? I found a contradiction.
There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me.
Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination. There's such a thing as thinking too much. The source is dead. Let's stop beating it.
There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. After the defendant tried to strangle victim, he hit him with bottle.
You didn't say anything about hitting before.
So sorry. I must be forgetting this, star.
Witness, you will take greater care with your testimony.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. That clears up the discrepancy with the autopsy report, I believe. The defendant made the strangle of his victim, then changed his mind. He chose a simpler, blunter means to do the job. Yes, that sums it up nicely.
So he strangled him, then hit him. Something's fishy about all this.
Go ahead, okay. No locket here.
Objection!
You know, there was one curious part in her testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean?
Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about?
Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on the locket at his neck, I believe she said.
I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar.
No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck?
Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this.
But what does it mean?
If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the lockets disappeared following the victim's death.
Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor.
It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no?
Taken it off? Wait, you don't mean...
The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Ah! Eh? The defendant, what is it? What do you have to say to this? Say. Yes?
I just noticed this, but... You have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Oh, you mean this? Yes, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter. We confirmed that at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So, Mr. Wright has a locket too. Why don't I buy that this is just a coincidence? Well now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game. Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost badly. Miss Orley, if you will testify to the court about the game played between the defendant and the victim. Da. Serious competition. The game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. But the one who was bidding, it was victim. For last hand, the defendant played with all chips on table and lose. As the moment loss was decided, the defendant grabs bottle from table and... Indeed. Looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game. As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure to have been a bitter pill to swallow. Ah! How many times have I heard these words? I've done it in fitting the common tale, but true. Methinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. The game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. Are those your usual starting points? Were any special rules used? No, not special. Usual game, usual rules. If each man began with 3,500 points, the total would be... exactly 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Of course. Something's fishy with these chips. Should I press harder? Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips. Explain? What is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips, not a chip off the old block.
not a motorcycle. Chip, that...
Thanks. Now that I've pressed her, I'd better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even?
Yet, as I have said before, it was game, not gambling. Odd perhaps for capitalists to understand. Two types of chips. 100 points chips and 1000 points chip. It is not money, da? Justice.
Sir,
Don't you find her comments interesting?
more ways than one, sir.
Not often added to her testimony myself. Well, the defense wants the witness to add her testimony.
Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this.
Very well. Witness, if you would be so kind. Your Honor. One kind of chip is worth 100 points. Other kind of is worth 200 points. Two kinds and all. It is worth 1000 points.
Mr. Gavin said this testimony is important. To be honest, I have no idea why.
Mr. Justice, do the court a favor and think of what you want to say before raising your hands. You're not in kindergarten.
Sorry, I'm fine. Better think of something to ask. And quick. The two types of chips.
Doc?
The small ones are 100 and the big ones are 1000. But, right? Right, of course.
Don't waste that time. Is that all?
Yeah. Great. Mr. Gavin made me stop, but now I'm known to look dumb.
Oh, Justice. Please try not to embarrass me like that.
Huh? Who? Me?
There's a clear contradiction in the information you have in your hands.
What?
It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it. You're not in kindergarten, after all.
Calculation?
The one who was winning. It was victim.
You're telling me that Mr. Wright, undefeated for 7 whole years, was losing?
It must have been the most unlucky day for him. I am glad I did not take another picture of him. It would break camera, certainly. The chips, they went always to victim's side of table. So you're telling us it was a one-sided game? One-sided, and... The last hand, defendants play with all chips on table and lose.
Last hand?
It was largest points of any hand. The defendant's hand, it was excellent. He tried to use it to take victory from behind. It appears that both the defendant and the victim's hands are in this picture. That is truly an excellent hand. However, so is the victim's. The one with highest number wins, so the defendant loses. The victim, Mr. Smith, had a stronger hand on the defendant than the defendant and crushed him. I believe that explains what occurred next. Once cards laid down on table, it happened. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottles on table and...
And what happens next?
Even to think of it now, I shake and tremble. I did not believe such a thing would happen.
What such thing?
Please, you must believe. I had no idea. How could such thing occur?
What such thing?
Niet. The defendant had been hitting the victim. I saw it all happen right before me. I saw a bottle coming down on victim's head. Decisive, isn't it, Your Honor? My witness saw the very moment of the crime. Remember, your first goal is to gather information.
Yes, sir. Look out, contradictions. Here comes justice. So do I present this here? Okay. You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure?
It seems our attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten. Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court?
Of course, Your Honor. In this photo I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points?
Why, the big ones, of course. Duh.
Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up.
The totals?
Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips. The combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points.
Yes, my calculations are correct. Let's see, 3 plus 1 will carry the 5.
They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo and that allegedly shows all the chips. If the big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up,
How much is it?
do it yourself. You weren't in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony.
But why? How could this be?
Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right. There's only one possible way to explain the contradiction. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can only be one answer.
Well, what is it?
The value of the chips is the other way around.
What?
Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones.
Madness. Out of madness. Show me the photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Why, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up.
Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it.
But wait, the value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing. Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. Ah!
Exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table.
The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points, and Mr. Wright had 4,100 points.
I don't know if you said Mr. Wright, I just didn't read it. Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all.
That's impossible.
My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning.
Yarg!
Now, Miss Orley, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime. Weren't you?
Eek! Order! It appears our defendant has lost his motive. Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happens. We must now ask ourselves... Hold it! Excuse me, what is it, Miss Orley?
I did not want to be saying this, but... Actually, you see,
See what, Miss Orley? What do we see?
in the last hand, there was cheat.
A cheat? You don't mean... A trick? Wait. What do you mean? A scam? They're all the same thing. Yes, there was cheating last hand. That is why game ends with chips on as they are. Great. Just great. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. Fully interesting. Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. Final, the last hand, both men had a full house. There is a deck of each card in hand. There is 4 of each card in deck, from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. In the next moment, game becomes argument that the defendant's trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand, poor Mr. Smith.
Miss Orley, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled a cover up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers.
The full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience. That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics.
Mr. Gavin, what's a full house?
Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker. I can't say this bodes well for your case, or career.
What is this, some kind of secret court poker ring?
Justice. You know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes?
Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes 3 of a kind.
Good. Now put your hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house.
It doesn't sound very easy to make, does it?
You can see each player's hand in this photo.
Wow, they both have full houses.
We forget, there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
If you did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat?
The last hand, both men had full house.
So how hard is it to make a full house anyway?
It is quite hard, It is making a pair and 3 of a kind at the same time.
I guess that's right.
Very difficult to be sure. You can take my word as the poker head of quarter number 3. Very difficult, but it is not impossible.
Okay, full house, hard. Slight of questioning, a waste of time.
There is 4 of each card in deck from ace to king.
4 of each card, you say?
There is 1 spade and 1 diamond, 1 heart, and 1 club for each card.
Yeah.
It is an interesting fact that this number 4 comes from number of seasons.
Huh, you don't say.
Did you know that the cards are numbered 1 through 13? I have the cards on the deck and you get 364. Yeah.
Huh, you don't say. Isn't that one day short?
That's why each deck has 2 jokers. Say the second joker stands for the leap year. Thus you have a perfect representation of the year, all in a deck of cards.
Huh, you don't say. I'm going to be in this courtroom for a year if it keeps going like this.
If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious.
How was it clear?
Well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace.
A 5th ace?
I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's 2. Obviously, cheating was afoot. Or perhaps I should say, a hand.
Your Honor.
Perhaps this can be added to the testimony, thought Mr. Payne's joke. Very well. The witness will add this detail to a testimony, please. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all.
A 5th ace?
It should not exist, no? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's 2. Well, where did this card come from then? Perhaps we should ask the defendant that very question. Adding cards to a deck is no less serious a taboo than forging evidence in a court of law. Now, perhaps it's time for you to say something, Justice.
You bet. I've no intention of staying quiet. Not me. No, sir. I better find some contradicting evidence fast.
The next moment, it becomes argument that the defendant's trick was exposed.
Do you recall what the men were arguing about?
I believe so. The victim, he shouts, "You are a cheater," and then the defendant shouts something like, "I have objection." Shout an objection, eh? Well, the habits are hard to break. First he bluffed his way through the courtroom, now he bluffs his way through life.
However, Mr. Wright lost the hand. That seems to cast the shadow of doubt on Mr. Smith.
Humiliation from losing even when cheating. That is what set fire to defendant's heart. So, what did the flaming defendant do next? He took bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith.
By bottle, are you referring to this?
The defendant uses this bottle to... This behavior is an admission of cheating by the defendant. But why use a grape juice bottle? You'd be surprised at what can be used as a weapon. This juice is recommended drink of Bush Bowl Club Dog. This year's vintage is remarkable for its hefty flavor.
Hefty enough to brain a grown man, apparently. First she says it was a serious competition, now she says there is cheating.
Justice, notice anything odd? The testimony keeps changing. Now she says the defendant cheated.
Actually, yes, I had noticed that.
Let's get the truth about this cheating first, shall we?
Right, leave it to me.
The fuck? What's the damn stick here? Did not? Oh my god.
Objection!
It appears the witness is mistaken.
Mistaken? But my name?
Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony.
That's the photo of the chips, is it not? Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. What particular point contradicts the witness's testimony?
Miss Orley, in your testimony you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. As you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces.
Eek. Well, or maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question.
We're gonna look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's the 5th ace? I see cheating alright. It's going on right here in this courtroom.
2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating. Wait, please. It is true. I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you.
That's odd. She must be lying. Yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all today. I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin, who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion.
What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps you might examine the actual cards. The cards? Mr. Payne? Yes? The player's hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well. The prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards?
If these cards don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards.
Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would. Very well. Received evidence, victim's hand. Type evidence submitted as evidence during the trial.
Well, what time's wasting? Get to it, Justice? Yes, sir.
It's doing that on its own. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using the dials on the evidence sphere. That should give you a better perspective on the case.
Okay, let's do this. What? Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color.
Eh? Eh? That's impossible. Excuse me. God damn it. She was saying she put the card there. Ah! What was that, Miss Orley? No, yet. I really said, I have... Your Honor. Mr. Gavin, yes? Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say, the dealer. Ah!
Wait, so you mean... this witness, Miss Orley?
She's a cheater. A professional, I'd wager. Yeah. Order!
Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. Of her mistake. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard.
That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand.
Ergo, Miss Olga Orley conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, It's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim.
What? Wait, you don't mean... The defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga Orley, are you?
For justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. And if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means... I am. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga Orley, of murder.
Eek. Mr. Payne, where's your witness, Miss Olga Orley? He used to lost consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice.
Your Honor.
It seems you presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the victim and the victim, Mr. Smith.
And that means...
This court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What?
I did it. I held out.
I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries. Objection! Hi, Phoenix.
Mr. Wright.
You can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Think. One of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right now, right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous! Mr. Payne, you of all people should know. Mr. Wright has a talent. But they're ridiculous! Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game on that fateful night. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks of the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If you use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed.
You used different colors and they still got mixed up.
We used the red deck for the last game. I see. But that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using blue cards.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards.
Whatever. In the end, 1 card of the wrong color got into the mix. Which means there was cheating. Yes, the card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo.
Yes?
Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think. In the last game, when was the card swapped?
When?
There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped. Oh. It might be simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped?
When was the card swapped into the deck? Perhaps it happened after the murder?
What's that? Ridiculous! What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly.
Yes, but tell me, if you swapped cards during the game, I'll take silly over impossible.
Take it from me, son. It's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible.
Oh, even when the backs of the cards are a different color? If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time.
Ah. quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown. After the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another. Yes. A simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Who? The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only two remain in the room. Alive, that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga Orley. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been it couldn't have been Olga Orley either. What are you suggesting? That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As the defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orley at this point. Yes, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong colored card. And if the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking how much fun all this is. Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. But the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant, and it wasn't Miss Orley. Then who was it? Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. A new direction? We'll find that, indeed, after the murder, someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand. And that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card, because the one who did the swap didn't know that no two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right. The person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist. True. Not until now, but you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime. What? I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. This trial has proceeded on one essential assumption, namely that, at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. And I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yes. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during the recess. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes. April 20th, 11:52 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby Number 3. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. You suddenly claimed there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I'd think you would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out in one bit, Kristoff. Justice?
Yes, sir?
The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright?
Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket. Here, you can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter in there.
I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter.
Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days.
One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you?
What do you think?
Huh?
You know what happened 7 years ago? What I did. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat.
I never. Honest, but
It is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case.
poker is like trial law?
Figure out what your opponent is thinking, and you win.
Oh, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds.
I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information.
You're kidding.
That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice?
No. Come on, who noticed that?
Words, habits, twitches. It's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you.
But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on all these signals.
No, you can do it.
Huh?
You just don't know it yet.
What's he talking about?
But you will. Soon. Almost forgot. One more thing about this case. You should know. I haven't told the truth to anyone yet.
What? I knew it.
I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power.
My, power? I had no idea my cords of steel were that special.
It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. To be continued. And we will continue next time. We'll finish Turnabout from next time too. It's only 2 parts. I'll see you all then. Bye-bye!